Dead word practice 2. We're just going to get started straight away. So for question 1 for VR making words, the answer should be T, because we can make report, trap, despot, not sure if I'm saying that correctly, and trammel. For question 2, the answer is E, to make frame, evolve, delude, and edible. These are all words. Question 3, the answer is just skim. Not skim, because it makes skim, mirth, harm, and mill. None of the other letters work. For all of these, you can just try to see if the letters would possibly work if you're not sure. It's kind of like a that sort of technique, but it's better if you can sort of go for one. For number 4, it can't be S, doesn't make sense, can't be Y, doesn't make sense, can't be M, doesn't make sense, can't be E, it's B. Comb, bone, verb, and bestow. For question 5, it should be L, with travel, linger, soul, and lament. Okay, so those are all the words. Okay, question 6, we have to make a 4-letter word between 2 words. So we can look between these, so that doesn't make, here there's no words made, here there's no words made, no words made, no words made, but there is a word made between sea and monsters, seam, so the answer is sea monsters, yeah. Question 7, again, very similar, no words here, straight away, but though we see a word is made here, fear, between wife and argued. So yeah, that's the 4-letter word. Okay, so not too difficult so far. Okay, then we have to make 2 new words from moving 1 letter from the first word onto the right, with none of the order being changed. So the letter that we want to move here is E, because we have slop and emerge. So those are our 2 letters, so we want to move E just to the very front. Slop like a onomatopoeic word, and emerge like something coming out. And here we want, for question 9, we have sport and pour. The only word that we can make really from sport is port, so we have to move the S, and then we can move the S to the front of the other word to make spore, which is another word. So yeah, those are all the words. Okay, then we have to do we have to make a word from the 2 words either side in the same order. Okay, so clearly here they've taken the first letter from the first word to make B, so we need H. Then they've taken the second letter from the first word to the O, so we need A from hand. They've also taken the 3rd letter from the first word, so it's N, or they could have taken the 4th letter from this word, but again, we'll just try it for the penultimate letter of each of these words anyway is N, so we can just put in N. And then finally, D is from the start of the second letter, so we need the start of the second word, so we need the start of the second word, so we need G, so we've got han. That's it. Okay, question 11, they've taken the first letter from the first word, so F, we need F here. They've taken B from the first letter of the second word, so we need I. Then L has been taken from the last one of these 2, but we can assume it's the last letter because if we put an O it doesn't really make a word with FIO, so we know it's an L is needed. And then E has either been taken from the second letter here or the last letter on the first one. Filled, like with FILD is not a word, but film with an M is correct, so it's film. Okay, question 12. We need to take the first letter from the first word. We can just it's the same on either side, but let's just go with the first letter first on the first word just to try it out. Then we need either A, it has an A from either the first word or the second word. Again, we'll just try the second letter from the first word, so we need an I, then an L from one of these two. Let's just try with N here, because it's the third letter. And then M is obviously from the third letter of the second word, so we need here an I. So we get mini, which is a word. So there's a little bit of trial and error with that one, but mini should be the right one. Okay, then we have the first letter from the second word is first, so we have L. And then A has been taken from the second letter of the first word, so we need an O. Then we have a C from then we have the third letter from the first word, so we need an S. And then we have the third letter from the second word, so we need a T, so it got lost. That one was pretty straightforward. The first letter from the first word, so we need a B. We either need the the second letter from the first word or the penultimate letter from the second word. But we're going to go with the second letter of the first word because it's a vowel, so it makes more sense. Then we need the first letter from the second word, so we need an A. And then we either need the last letter from the first word or the second letter from the second word. If we took the last letter from the first word, it would make bob, which isn't a word, but if we take this R here, it will make bor, which is a word. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Again, we're doing one letter from the word on the left must be moved into the word on the right to make two new words. So here we can see that we can make plain from the first word, and then if we take off the T and add it to the front, we can make trust. For 16, we can make able from the first word if we take off the C, and then we add it to the front of the second word to make crumble. For 17, the only word we can make from the first word is lame. And then the second word, we can put the B in between the A and the L to make table. 18, we can make fair with the first four letters and then move the Y to make yearn for the second word. We can make last, moving the E, and event, putting the E at the front of the second word. And then we can make chat if we move the E, and then we can make feast if we put it between the F and the A. This last one is quite confusing because you can get heat as well, but the C can't go anywhere, so just be careful of that. Again, it's a little bit of trial and error, but yeah, that should be it. Okay, so we need to make a 3 consecutive letter word that will fill in the capital letters part to make the word that makes sense. So the army into battle, this word should be advanced, and for advanced we get van, so that's correct. 22, smoke poured from the top of the something. This is supposed to be volcano because smoke pours from volcanoes. So from volcano, we get can as the 3-letter word. The chickens roamed around the something yard. Chickens are normally on a farm, so this is a farmyard. So we have arm as a 3-letter word. 24, a school is a place of what? We think of education, we think of learning. 3-letter word is ear in learning. 25, the food was something by too much salt, so it's obviously bad. So it's been spoiled. So 3-letter word is oil. I hope that makes sense. I went through that quite quickly, but you just have to kind of think of what the word is based on the logic in the sentence, and then find out what the 3-letter word is from that. So yeah. Okay, now moving on to the VR maths. We do need a little bit of bid maths for this, but not crazy amounts. So we start with 77 plus 3 minus 40 divided by 2. So we should do the 40 divided by 2 first. That makes 20. So then we have 77 plus 3, which is 80 minus 20, which is 60. So we need 3 times 2 times 5 times something to make 60. So 3 times 2 is 6, times 5 is 30. So all we need to do is then times this by 2. 16 divided by 8 times 16 plus 3. So 16 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 16 is 32. 32 plus 3 is 35. So we need something to equal 35. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 4 is 19. Oh, sorry. We should do 15 plus something, 4 times something would equal 35. Remembering our bid math. So we need 15 plus 20 to make 35. So then 4 times by 5 would make 20. So the answer is 5. Then we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So we can see here that 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is the same as 16 times 4 times 4, and then therefore 64 times 4. 64 times 4, just very quickly, is 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1, 6 times 4 is 24, add the 1, so 256. 256 equals 8 times 8 is 64. So again we see 64 here, so we have to add whatever makes 256 from 64. So 256 minus 64, you get 6 minus 4 is 2. 25 minus 6 is 19. So then we get 192. Okay. And then we have 11 plus 13 times 2 plus 15 divided by 3. So we should do the multiplication and division first. So 13 times 2 is 26. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we have 11 plus 26 plus 5. 11 plus 26 is 37. Plus 5 is 42. So we need something to equal 42 on this side. So then we get 3 times 2 is 6 plus 18 times something. We need 36 to make 42. 36 divided by 18 is 2, so we know that 18 times 2 is 36, so the answer is 2. Then we have 53 times 11 plus 3 times 5 plus 2. So we need to do our multiplications first. So 53 times 11. So 3 times 1. That's 1, 0, 3, and then 5. So you get 583. Plus 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 2. So you have 583 plus 17, which is simply 600. So then we have 25 times 25 plus 25 minus something. So we need 25 times 25 to work out first. So then we do 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10, add the 2, 125. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 5. So we get 625 is 25 times 25. So 625 plus 25 minus, which would equal 650, minus what equals 600? The answer is just 50. Okay. So now we're on finding the number that completes the final set of numbers in the same way as the first two. So for 31, it's quite straightforward. These two numbers are simply being added together to make the number in the middle. So 67 plus 37 is 104, 53 plus 251 is 304. So the answer to this is 22 plus 59, which is, carry the 1, 2 plus 5 is 7, is 81. For 32, the rule here is that we times each of these numbers by each other, and then we add 5. So we see 5 times 3 is 15, plus 5 is 20. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 23. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15. 33. The rule is that we divide the bigger number, we divide the bigger number by the smaller number and then add 7. So we have 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then 3 plus 7 equals 10. And then again, 77 divided by 11 is 7, add 7 is 14. So we should do the same thing. So 28 divided by 14 is 2, 2 add 7 is 9, so the answer is 9. Okay, 34. This one is quite tricky. I struggled very hard getting this answer. But the rule is that you have to add these two numbers together and then divide them by 2 to get their average, or their mean rather. So we have 20 plus 10 equals 30, and then 30 divided by 2 equals 15, and then you add 6 to whatever you get. So 15 plus 6 is 21. Again, we see it here, so 6 plus 12 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. So again, we should do it here. So 7 plus 3 equals 10. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 5 plus 6 equals 11. So the answer is 11. 35, we have to minus the smaller number from the bigger number, and then we double it. So we have 9 minus 1 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. 15 minus 5 equals 10. 10 times 2 equals 20. So again, we'd use the same rule. So 6 minus 2 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. So the answer is 8. Okay, so now on to the NVR. We're starting with series. So we can see here that there are 5 triangles, and then it goes to 4, 3. So we need 2, and they should be coming from the left-hand side. So straight away we can tell that it's not A, it's not B, it's not C, it should be D. Let's double check with the circles though. The circles are coming from the right. We're adding 1 every time. So there should be 4 circles coming from the right. So it's definitely D. 37. We can see here that there is like 2 sort of columns. The triangle is going down each column, each square in the column, and is alternating black, white, upside down as well. So we should have an upside down triangle that is black in a left-hand column. So we already know it's not D, it's not C, and it's not A. And yes, it should also be in the middle because it's it would make sense for it to be in the middle, or like just on the left actually, but so it can either be B or E. And then we can see here that this sort of cylinder is going up, and then we can assume that it's going back down. It's not going to stay in the same place because it ends up at the bottom in the last panel. So it should be B, not E, because that one is stagnant. Yeah. Okay, 38. We can see that the number of triangles here is increasing every time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we need 5 triangles. So already we know it's not B, it's not C, it's not D, it's not E. So it really should just be A. Yeah. 39. We can see that this striped square is sort of moving around in a clockwise direction around the grid. So we should expect it to be in the bottom left-hand corner, which it is in all of the panels, so that's perfect. And then the amount of, every time the sort of lined square moves around, the circle that was there is now gone afterwards. If you can see that this one, this circle that was here is gone in this one, and then it's moved down here, and we'd expect it to be bottom left. So we'd expect to not see any circles here or here, and because there's a line, there's a lined grid here, there will be no circles anywhere on the shape. So the answer should be C. Okay. Question 40. We can see that the arrow is going from right to left, so it should be going right now, so it can't be A and it can't be D. The crosses are also alternating which side they're on, and they're going down in number, so we have 4 on the bottom, then 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. There should be none on the bottom, so it can't be B and it can't be E, so straight away it's C. You can double check being that the squares do the opposite of the crosses, they increase in size. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, so it should be 5, and they should be on the top, so it's definitely C. Okay, question 41. We can see first of all that this arrow is moving around the panels from sort of corner to corner. So we'd expect it to be pointing downwards here. And because it's alternating in colour from black to white to black to white, we'd expect it to be black here, pointing downwards. So that's there. So it can't be B, it can't be C, and it can't be E. We also see that the number of shapes on the inside is changing, and the type of shape is changing, so it goes from square to triangle to square to triangle, so we should expect to be see squares in this one, so it can't be A already, and there should be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. So the only correct answer is D. You could also figure out that there are other reasons as to why the answer should be D, like the circle should be white in the top right hand corner, but that has already given you enough of the answer. But yeah, the circle should also be in the top right hand corner because it's moving around, and it should be white. So yes. So now question 42. So we can see that the through each panel there's an amount of lines being added up. So from panel 2 to 3 goes from 1 to 2. But we can see in the last panel that we have 2 on the top, extra on the top and 2 on the bottom. We'd assume then that there should be 2 lines coming from the top, so we know it's not D and we know it's not E, because those don't fit with the next panel above. And we can also see that the letters and numbers are moving around the panel in a clockwise direction, and they're also and the letters are also flipping at that time. So because R should be in the bottom left corner and it should be inverted, we know it can't be A, and the T should also be in the, a 9 should also be in the top left hand corner, so we know it's not C, so it must be B, and that fits with everything else as well, because the T should be upside down and the 3 should be inverted too. So 42 is B. 43, we can see that there's the lines are moving from place from the right hand side to the left hand side, but there's also a line that goes across and it's going upwards, so it should be at almost the top now, but not quite at the top. So we know it's not A, it's not B, it's not D, it's not E. And also we can see like the lines are moving from right to left, and there should be 4 because it's going upwards, so it can't be E. So it can't be, it could have been E, but it can't be because they should be on the left hand side, so it should be C. Question 44. We can see that the sort of shapes are moving around in a clockwise direction. They're moving across the panels, across the divided triangle sections. So we can see that for this one, say if I just draw it out quite roughly, that we should have this sort of almost asterisk looking thing in this corner here, and the circle should be next to it, so it can't be C, it can't be D, and it can't be E. There should be a triangle in this this box here, and it should be black because all that's doing is rotating around, so it can't be A. And yeah, the hexagon should also be in the top right, so it can't be, it has to be B basically. So yeah, 44 is B. 45, we can see that these are moving in an anti-clockwise direction actually, the shapes, and some of them are flipping, so the triangle goes upright, then down, then upright, and it should be pointing down in the top right corner, so it can't be B or D or E. And the circle should be black, and it should be in the top left hand corner as it is, and the L shape should be inverted in the bottom left hand corner, because it's going round, so it can't be C, so it has to be A. 45. 46, we can see that I think we've now moved on to similar shapes actually. So we can see that here we have, in both of these shapes, we have that the dotted line is perpendicular to the stripes in the shape, so it can't be A, and it can't be D, and it can't be E, or it could be E actually, pardon me. And we can see that on the sort of left side of the shape, it has half of the shape on its right side, and the shape is the same on both sides. It can't be, oh, this also can't be C actually. So it has to have half of a shape that's white on the left and the full shape in black on the right. It can't be E therefore, because this is also facing the wrong way. It's supposed to be facing the right way as well, so that is wrong, so it has to be B. Yeah, sorry, gone down a bit too much. 48. Okay, so we can see that there is essentially just an order to this. On the left of the arrow is a rectangle, which to its left it has a circle, and to its left it has a triangle, which is black. All of these are black. We just need to find the same thing because it's just a rotation of the shape. So the only answer that it could be is B, which is 48. For 48. The rest of these, this has too many arrows. This is the wrong order. This has got white circle. This is the wrong order. 49. We can see that we have a shape with diagonal striped lines going in the same direction for both shapes. So, and it has a shape in the middle which is white, and is the same as the shapes on the outside. So it can't be A, it can't be C, it can't be D, it can't be E because that's black, so it has to be B. For 50, we can see there are two shapes that are the same, that are overlapping, and they're the same size, so the only correct answer should be A. For 51, we can see that we have diagonal lines that are going the same way in both shapes, so it can't be A, it can't be C, it can't be, and also, so we're left with these options, and also the shape has been flipped and gone sort of to the other direction, so it can't be B because this is not flipped, it's just been flipped into to the left, but it's not been flipped horizontally. It can't be E either, because I think the diagonal lines are a bit too the wrong, oh, this has not been pointed in a different direction, it's just been flipped. So the only correct answer is D for 51. 52, we can see that essentially the number of shapes on the outside, the black shapes, is the number of sides. There's 5 circles to the pentagon, there's 3 ovals to the triangle. So the only correct answer is A, because there are 4 diamonds to the square. 53, we can see that we have 2 of the same shape inside each other, and they have arrows that are going in opposite directions. One is going in a clockwise motion and one is going anti-clockwise. The one on the outside is going clockwise and the one on the inside is going anti-clockwise. These are both going clockwise, so it's not A. These are both going clockwise, so it's not B. The outside is going clockwise and the inside is going anti-clockwise, so it must be C for 53. We know this one is going anti-clockwise, and then this one's going clockwise for D, so it's wrong. And this one's going same direction, so it's wrong too. 54, essentially we have an arrow going in a clockwise direction with one side missing on the inside, tracing the shape. So the only correct answer can be B. 55, we can see that we have, there are 3 different shapes on the inside, 2 quadrilaterals and 1 circle, and one of them has to be striped, with the stripes going in the same direction as these 2 shapes, so it can't be D and it can't be E because there are too many. There has to be 2 quadrilaterals and a circle, so it can't be C because that's an oval, it can't be B because there's not 2 quadrilaterals, so it has to be A. For 56, we can see that we have an arrow pointing to a corner, so it can't be C. and it can't be D, and it can't be E because they're pointing outwards from the shape. And we have two circles that are on the inside of the L shape, so it can't be B because that one's on top, so it has to be A. For 57, we have 3 of the same shape, and it's on two. The shape on top is black of the triangle, so it can't be D. And the shapes are all the same on the triangle, and they're on the lines of the triangle, other than the one on the very top on the peak of the triangle, you could say. So it can't be C because this is in the wrong place. It can't be B because they're not the same shape. It can't be A because they're in the wrong place and not the same shape, so it has to be E. For 58, we can see that there is essentially, it's all the same shape, exact same shape, and also it has black at the very bottom and an alternating pattern of colour. So it can't be A, this is the wrong shape, C is the wrong shape, D is the wrong shape. It's not alternating either. And it can't be E, so I'd assume it has to be, it would have to be B because it has the right shape to it as well. So yeah. 59, we can see that we have this sort of arrow shape, and it's crossing both the circle and the square that they have, so it has to cross both. So it's not A because it's not crossing both, it's not B because it's not crossing both, it's not D because it's not crossing both, it's not E, they're not even touching, so it has to be C. Question 60, we can see that we have a dotted, the shape with the sort of crescent moon on it has is connected to a line, so it can't be B, and it can't be E, and it's going through the middle, so it can't be D either, and it's also always touching the black rectangle, so it can't be C, so it has to be A. Question 61, we just need a quadrilateral which has vertical lines going through it, so the only correct answer can be E. Question 62, we have a triangle and a quadrilateral, so it can't be A, it can't be B, there's too many shapes, it can't be C, there's too many shapes, it can't be D, there's too many shapes. Sorry, the shapes are wrong, so it has to be E. For question 63, we have two of the same shape, of the same sort of stick and something connected to the lines or the sticks crossing each other, and we have the same shape going up in size on the bottom from the left up, so it can't be A because they're not crossing, can't be B because they're the same size, can't be D because they're not crossing, and can't be E because they're not the same shape, so it has to be C. 64, we have alternating stripy and non-stripy segments with the and yeah, that's essentially it. So it can't, and the segments are all even, so it can't be A because they're not alternating, can't be B, can't be C, and it can't be E, so it has to be D. Question 65, we just have a mirror image going from the middle here and here, so we just need to find something that is a mirror. So A is not a mirror, B is not a mirror, C is not a mirror, E is also not a mirror, so it is D. And then the last question, 66, this is just a rotation of the same shape, so we just need to find a rotated version of that shape. It's not A because the diamond is in the wrong place and it's black, and also the rectangle is on the bottom is not black. It's not B because the diamond's in the wrong place. It's not C because the diamond has been it's, well, diamond slash square is in the wrong order. It's not D because there are too many arrows, so it has to be E. So yes, those are all the questions for the Newstead Woods Practice 2 test. I hope that was, Practice 2 homework. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, have a nice rest of your day.